All right, we are up to week 20 update on these two planet aquariums. Let's start with the 45-gallon on the left. I just posted a little 1-minute video before I pruned yesterday. And so, as you can see, it looks pretty horrible. I just completely whacked everything back by about 50%. And yeah, it doesn't look the best now. But as you can see, the growth is pretty good. Colors are great. We'll see how it all comes back in. I didn't really prune the foreground plants at all, just the taller stem plants in the back. And I just did it as quickly and efficiently as I could. Pruning plants of any kind is not my favorite thing. I do not have the patience for it. So I just pretty much scalped it. And we'll see if they grow in nicely. Yeah, I've mentioned before I have a bad back, so it's not my favorite thing to be hunched over an aquarium. So yeah, we'll see if it recuperates. CO2 is out on this tank as well. Looks like the tank just ran out recently, so I'm gonna have to, I've just been really busy. At some point I'm gonna have to go and refill my tanks. But yeah, Lamophylla on the left, Vartala willikii, then Pagostemon Dawson, and then in the back, I didn't really need to prune the Myriophyllum Guyana. It's just a very slow growing small plant. So I don't think I pruned that at all. Maybe a few strands if they were caught in the other plants. Then the blood red Rotala. You can see on the glass the algae, my back was already starting to hurt, so I didn't do as thorough a job as I usually do, scraping the algae off the glass. But it's not that you can't really see it from a distance, so. Yeah, in the foreground, the down eye, the Pagostemon helferi, and the Sterogony, I did not bother to prune. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with the results of this tank. 20 weeks, so it's been a while it's been set up. I feel like it was a pretty successful experiment in growing these plants for the future, when I hopefully have a tank with better dimensions where I can create a sort of better design, have better depth to make it more interesting. But yeah, it was pretty fun. So the tank on the right, from a distance, doesn't look too bad, but I have just not had time to really keep up with water changes, and I have not yet replaced the CO2. So it's been without CO2, and that staghorn algae pretty much has taken over everything. So, but like I said, from a distance, the tank still looks nice to me, so I'm not too concerned about it. I'm debating whether I just do a really cut plants back heavily to try to get rid of it, or just maybe try to siphon out the worst of it. But other than that, the shrimp population is exploding. There are just tons of little shrimp swimming around or walking around the plants, the hardscape. Teeny little babies to larger shrimp, and just anywhere from blue, orange, red, multicolor. Pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. The fish, I have not seen any more babies, which is kind of a disappointment, but I think I mentioned before, I've read that. I think there's maybe 4 lemon yellow Amano shrimp in the tank, and apparently they might eat fish eggs, so it's possible that's what's happening, or maybe the Autosynclus are eating the eggs. And I did see one baby a couple weeks ago and have not seen it since. I saw it for 2 or 3 days, and then it just disappeared. So maybe the parents got it. I'm not sure. I was hoping with all the, the pretty dense plant growth that the babies would be able to hide and survive. And maybe there are some back there that will, appear when they're big enough to feel safe. But I'm not so sure. I may remove the fish and put them in a breeding tank, considering doing that. So we'll see if I get around to it, if I have time. Because I would like to have some little baby blue-eyed killifish. Would be cool. Other than that, I'm debating adding any other kind of fish because I don't want the little shrimp to get eaten. And they don't seem to bother the baby shrimp. They mostly stay towards the top half of the tank. I'm just worried that anything else I add would eat the shrimp. So I'm kind of happy with things as they are. I have had like a little population explosion of ostracods, or I think they're little sea shrimp. Won't be able to film them. They're very tiny. But they've suddenly made an appearance, and I'm assuming once again that they probably came in on either the moss, or when I added the shrimp, they came, in the bags with them, there were some little bits of moss or little bits of plants. And I tried to not introduce those to the tank, but I wasn't completely successful. So they might have come with the shrimp, because they shouldn't have come with the tissue culture plants. So they've just suddenly, in the past week or so, I've seen them sort of on the glass and on the lower surfaces of the tank. But they're pretty harmless, and you can barely even see them. So they're not as big as like scuds or Daphnia or anything like that. So not an issue. And normally, I'm assuming the killifish would eat them if they saw them, but I think they spend most of their time at the bottom. Killifish spend most of their time at the top. So don't think they're doing much to control that population. But anyway, I'm babbling now. So just wanted to update on these aquariums. I will say one kind of bummer is the Cryptocoryne spiralis red is starting to turn to green. And that is, if you look there, I don't know if it's, you see the beautiful red on the bottom, but then towards the center, there's this like green growth, and the red is fading. And you could see it again back here. I'm not sure if it is just the lights are not intense enough, or if it's possible that, these are tissue culture plants, and maybe the new growth from them, sort of maybe rhizome-like growth, where the new growth maybe reverts to a regular green plant. I've had this happen before when I grew this plant, and they're lush, beautiful green plants, but not as cool as the red sort of tiger foliage. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe in the future I would try it with a more intense light, but I don't know. All right, I think that pretty much covers everything. So again, that is the 20-week update on these 2 planted aquariums. And as I've said, it's been a fun experiment, getting more experience with these plants. Oh, I see one cutting that I took floating around. I guess I missed that when I was cleaning the tank out. But anyway, thanks for watching.